Hello everyone. So there was so much going on last lab that I forgot to provide you some instructions in preparation for next week's lab. So next week's lab is on the appendicular skeleton. This past lab was on the axial skeleton, which, if you recall, included the skull, the vertebral column, and the rib cage. Next week's lab covers the appendicular skeleton, which are the bones of the appendages. Now, not only are you going to be learning the bones, but most of the structures that you'll have to know are bone features. There'll be ridges, there'll be depressions, there'll be projections, structures like that. And you would be ahead of the game if you came into lab next week at least knowing the names of the bones of the upper appendages. And the best way to learn that would be to start at the girdles, such as the pectoral girdle, your clavicle or collarbone, and your scapula or shoulder blade. Learn those bones, then learn the bones of the arm, and then the forearm, and then the wrist, and then the bones of the fingers. And then do the same thing on the lower appendages. Start with the pelvic girdle, and then the femur, and then the bones of the leg, and then the ankle, and then the toes. Now, to help you with that, if you go to Blackboard and you go to the appendicular skeleton, I have a really cool link to a fun game called Whack-A-Bone. And students really like this game. Don't know how well you can hear this, but it is actually an educational game that's actually fun. So if you click begin here, and I'm going to choose the arm.
Carpals.
Oop, gotta get it right.
Metacarpals. Radius.
So this is a good way
Phalanges. Humerus.
to learn the bones.
Clavicle. Ulna. Scapula. Congratulations, you reached the 80% cutoff score. You may proceed to the...
Alright, that's all I'll say about that. So, learn the bones of the upper and lower appendages before you come to lab next week, and you'll be ahead of the game. And Whack-A-Bone is one way to help you do that. With respect to the last lab, I wanted to bring to your attention that there is a link to a Quizlet on the axial skeleton that will allow you to practice the material from the previous lab. So in addition to getting into the learning lab, come to the use this link to review and study the features of the axial skeleton. And there'll be a link to a Quizlet for every lab. If we go back to our very first lab, you'll see the third item here is a link to a Quizlet. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you for your time. Have a great day, and I'll see you in lab next week.